No, Chomsky is left wing, and that's not the mainstream.
Well, in your but you come from a particular. You're a real leftist. You know?
That's right.
And real leftists, I get on great. Oh, well, thank you very much. You see, real leftists, they love to share. What's not to love?
Socialism works after that.
Brilliant. No,
That's part of my Christian sensibility too, though.
no, I mean real old school leftists.
So once again, I would not feel comfortable with someone like this guy here, Milo, whatever the f his name is, okay, befriending me. That's not going to happen. I am not going to water down. I am not going to hide. I'm not going to pretend of my standards and my morality and what I believe in and what I stand behind. And what I stand behind and all that I just listed is going to keep us from being friends. That's simple. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be this type of dude on YouTube, but in my personal life, I hang around just with hateful, racist people. No, I'm like this 24/7, bro. So what we're about to witness is a real good example of why sometimes, and this is not every single MAGA person or Republican voter that you come across. 9 times out of 10, you know, the person that voted for Trump that you work for is just ill-informed. They don't know nothing about politics. They just fell for Trump's lies and they voted for him. But the people that try to like defend all the BS that we're seeing, you know, from the voters to, you know, the commentators or, you know, the politicians themselves, these kind of people, you can't have a polite conversation with. You know, hey sir, how you doing? Oh, I disagree with your opinion. May I give you my rebuttal to your, you know, your thoughts and opinion? No, you got to talk at them, because when you start to like just dance on the surface level of politics conversations, you know, like racism or education or, you know, the establishment, things like that, will you just focus on the surface levels of those conversations? Of course you're gonna like find a lot of common ground. Oh, you hate the establishment? Guess what? I do too. And you will be tricked by Republicans into thinking like we have more in common than what we don't. And the best proof of that is Donald Trump being in office. He doesn't even represent his Republican voters. He is strictly in the benefits of the upper class, the 1%. And we're seeing that in the first, 3-4 months? It's easy. So let me just show you this intro to Mr. Gavin, who's, yes, he started the Proud Boys, POS for sure. I get that. This is his intro, and if you don't know any better, you will be fooled by this. Let's take a listen.
Hey, we're living in an era of free speech prohibition, and we're here at a speakeasy where we're doing the forbidden things, the verboten things. We're having 2 people have a civilized conversation, someone from the right and someone from the left. Now, I know people on the right are seeing these 2 people and going, oh, you have a sane person from our side and some lunatic. And the people on the left are saying, oh, you have a sane person from our side and some lunatic. They're both wrong. In both cases, we have human beings with valid things to say and a lot of things in common. I'm going to try to re-merge the country and have people have decent conversations again. But that's forbidden, so shh.
So once again, I don't understand why a lot of these Republicans make it seem like, you know, what they're talking about is like really being like censored. Like this video alone has 30,000 views. Dude has, I mean, I got more subscribers than he does, but I mean, people are listening. So you're not being like chased down by the police. I mean, if you stand up for Palestinian people, yeah, you might be being chased down by the police, but the whole, there's a lot of common ground. Unfortunately, it's not. And that has to do a lot with the evil rhetoric from the Republican Party and a lot of fear mongering and a lot of misinformation. So, like I told you, a good example is people on the right and the left say, we hate the establishment. We'll ask them, who's the establishment? Oh, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. And then they'll say George W. Bush. You have the Cheneys, the Mitch McConnells. Those are the establishment. What about Donald Trump? What about Elon Musk? What about all these greedy corporations? Oh no, not Donald Trump. He's an outsider. No, not really. Elon Musk, he's working for the people. Really? Really? You mean Donald Trump, who filled his cabinet with nothing but billionaires and millionaires, who's not even qualified for the positions that they have been placed in? Draining the what? Are you kidding me? So once again, once you get into the substance of a conversation, there's a lot more disagreement than agreement. But like I told you, that's all because of the fear mongering, a lot of the hateful rhetoric that people had latched onto, and all the misinformation. And what we're going to get into this segment here, once again, this Cornel West. Hey, I love Dr. Cornel West, but when it comes to trying to speak with people like Milo or Milo, whatever the kid's name is, Dr. West is a loving person, okay? I watched hours upon hours. I read like 3 of his books. He is a loving person. It takes a lot for him to get just heated up. And I get that. But when you're trying to coddle and nurture these hateful people, which if you don't know Milo, hey, look him up. People like that, unfortunately, you can't try to, at least for me, maybe that's just childish for me to say, but you can't try to nurture these kind of people. You got to really go directly at them with words, of course, to break down their argument. If you try to bro, we're on the same side, we're friends, we have a lot in common, no, you don't, unfortunately, and they're going to use that to make their rhetoric, their hateful talking points seem normalized. Oh, I'm friends with Cornel West, so how am I a bad guy? You see what I'm saying? So this portion right here, which, like I said, a lot of this right here is just we're friends, we blah blah blah, but right here is really where they get into the details and the substance of racism. And you start to see we actually don't agree on this. And they actually kind of iron it out as best as they could. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, before we continue with the video, I just want to let you guys know, thank you for watching this video. If you find anything of substance from the content that I create for you guys, go ahead, become a subscriber today, hit that notification bell, and if you're really about that life, if you really support the work that I do for you guys, become a member today. I would greatly appreciate that, greatly appreciate the support you give me in any way, shape, or form. I appreciate you. Now back to the video.
This is one of the
Who
things
else has he called low IQ?
You may remember this better than me, but this is something he does use against people.
But some people get in trouble for not being racist. For example, there was that guy recently who said the prince and the princess are bringing home the new baby, Meghan Markle, and he had a picture of them and it was an old 1920s picture of the Queen bringing home a little monkey.
Oh.
And the guy who made the joke, it never occurred to him, the monkey thing.
You know,
so he was. There was another ESPN guy
but
who said
that
Danny.
racist.
Well, you know, the way he just told it sounded damning. But I was in England when that story broke, like a week or two ago, and actually, I believe the guy. He's a comic. He is no evidence ever of showing any kind of prejudice whatsoever against anyone ever. I believe him when he just thought it was a funny picture, and it didn't even occur to him.
Okay, better example.
Like, Jeremy,
the way
you told it, right? Not help your side.
But here you go. But you know the individual, and
well,
so
I've met him,
because anybody who would just hear that, given the association,
right? But it's always going through your mind.
No, but white supremacy is
no one's called a black
no.
forever. That's from the 30s.
People don't use the N-word. People do not call black people
monkeys.
But there's
other ways.
It doesn't.
Okay, see, this is what I mean. Like, and once again, I don't know when this was filmed, but we literally had a random white lady who's not a celebrity of no sort. I mean, she is now. She's probably going to be on Fox News in a couple of months, but we had this regular white lady throwing the N-word at a 5-year-old kid, autistic kid. That's what the report said. The N-word, like 10 times. And she became a billionaire with the support of other racist people. What do you mean? People don't... What? Why? How are we coming up with these lies? And people are dumb enough, because if you read the comments in this video, all dumbasses. They believe stuff like that. Cornel West, God bless his heart. I know his heart is in the right place. He's probably further in love than I am. That's probably where I need to get to. I admit that. But say that BS around me, bro. I'm shutting the conversation down. We ain't gonna pass go. We ain't gonna collect $200. We gonna stay right there, and you gonna repeat that. People don't say that. Don't say the what? Don't say the who to who. Not to you. What you talking about? That's okay. Let me calm down. Let's continue.
Happen.
But there's other ways in which it's articulated and expressed.
I agree with you.
And that's true for homophobia. It's true for anti-Jewish, anti-Arab, anti-Muslim. Two other examples.
Anti-Muslim, I'm absolutely comfortable with.
Remember?
No. Muslims are precious too.
No. They gave up their preciousness. They gave up their preciousness.
Before we lose this point forever.
But your Christian
We'll come back.
allow you to do that.
No, that makes me a bad Christian to believe it, I'm sure.
But you know, Jesus doesn't say love everybody but Muslims.
He would have.
No.
There weren't any Muslims when he was alive. There weren't any Muslims when he was alive.
No, not true. But he's preparing us to love everybody.
Your tangent is better than my.
Once again, I don't want to keep having to like defend Cornel West. If you're watching this and you know Cornel West, yes, he's a loving person. But once again, at the beginning of this, and if you guys want to watch this, go for it. They were like trying to just like find things they agree with and just happy go lucky drinking together. But he literally said he's okay with being anti-Muslim. Well, here's a fun fact, and I learned this from Mark Lamont Hill. Over 80% of black men in America are Muslim. So you have a problem with 80% of black Americans? Is that what you're telling me? Like you see, once you dig a little deeper into the conversation, you figure out who people are. You figure out what their intentions are. And if this individual is going around trying to, inspire people and ignite people and build people up in the way that he sees it, we're going to have a lot of hateful people to deal with. Once again, that type of energy, you can't be buddy with. Oh man, that's my buddy. We just gotta talk to him, bro. We just gotta find things we agree with and no, I'm sorry. Do that with people who just aren't educated or just don't know the full facts about something. Yes, teach them, walk with them. I got that. But people like this, these two here, they know the truth. And they don't care. And they rather feed and follow the hatred that they carry with them. And they try to pull that hateful energy out of people. And that's how you get more hateful people out there. That's simple.
But my point.
That's a good.
I'm gonna keep that in the chamber.
H&M puts out a sweater, a shirt, and it has a black in it. It says the coolest monkey in the jungle. Huge backlash. It had never occurred to the
mom,
to the
photographer,
or the ESPN. They write about Jeremy Lin. They go the chink in the armor, and he goes, "It never occurred to me." So I think sometimes the left has racism on the brain so severely that they imbue it on someone else who never. I don't think Roseanne Barr knew.
The left has racism so much on their mind that they like force it on people that just don't understand. Oh, they just don't get it. They just don't see it. Well, okay, here's a thought. If you don't see it, and I have the knowledge, the historical context, the substance to show you and teach you what your errors are or whatever you did wrong, and say, hey, you may not know, but what you did or what you said is racist. Because of X, Y, and Z, whatever the case is. You have to be humble enough and have the ears to hear and have the IQ to comprehend what is being said to you. Some people have the IQ of just warm weather. You see what I'm saying? They have the summer IQ. You see what I'm saying? The fall IQ, not even summer. They have that fall autumn IQ going on. So they're not going to understand that. Hence that guy. Oh, they're just trying to force their racism thoughts onto people. No. If you just don't know better, let me teach you. And if you don't want to hear it, then maybe you're just comfortable being a racist piece of shit. That's it. Simple.
That Valerie Jarrett was black.
I didn't. If you'd asked me, and I hadn't
Valerie
really
Jarrett
thought
been
about
associated with Brother Barack Obama for 8 years. She reads the newspapers all the time. She knows Valerie.
She doesn't look black to me, though.
Well, she's a light-skinned sister.
If you had asked me,
she's just light-skinned.
I don't know that I would have been able to say with any certainty that she was black. Valerie Jarrett.
Did you think that she was a white sister for 8 years?
I mean, if I
you read about it, you all read the newspaper.
If I thought about it for ages, but not if I were just racing off a funny tweet.
A quick.
Exactly.
Something like that.
I think it's very plausible that it wouldn't have occurred to me.
But you all, maybe somebody who's been in the public life that long, they would know she's a black or white
yes and no. The guy in Britain who posted the picture with the Queen and the monkey, whatever. He works at the BBC. You know, this is as woke as it gets in Britain. You know, and I completely believe that it did not cross his mind. And this is somebody who has been working as a comic and a journalist for 45 years. So he does fall into the category of suggesting.
I accept that formulation.
So
I think it's a little different with the bigger issue here is Roseanne. Roseanne's a very talented.
Once again, we can't allow people to shield their ignorance behind comedy. Once again, like, I get it. It's a gray area. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes the stuff is funny. I get it. I laugh at it too. But they can't everybody, oh, I'm a comedic. No, no, not me. No. No, that's not how that works. But once again, I don't know that situation well enough. I just read it probably like a day before after I seen this here, so I don't know enough to say like no, he did know, but just based off of what he said, not everybody can hide behind that excuse. I'm a comedian, so I get some sort of leeway or break. I'm sorry.
That artist, there's no doubt about that.
I don't think that Roseanne Barr is a racist, but I do find her explanation for that particular tweet a little bit more difficult to accept than the other two examples. To be really honest with you, I'm gonna be frank. It's a little bit harder to swallow, just a little bit. It could still be true.
Racist anymore? I think
it
has been racist since the 80s.
No, institutional racism.
He's very out of date, you see, because what you mean by racism is very out of
racism. I can jump in my car right now and try to make it to the airport and police pull me over. Is that racism? Of course in part it is.
You see, racial profiling is racism. Stop and frisk is racism.
Absolutely.
I don't think that you would get pulled over if they could see you.
No, if they could see how you were dressed, surely.
Would you be surprised? You'd be surprised.
And didn't they determine that stop and frisk in New York actually stopped whites more than they occur in the crime?
Because the police are so terrified of the...
we went to jail. Carl Dixon.
Did he just say stop and frisk in New York pulled over more whites?
Be surprised.
And didn't they determine that stop and frisk in New York actually stopped whites more than they occur in the crime?
Because the police are so terrified of the...
we went to jail. Carl...
Hey, don't worry. I got some facts for that ass. Don't worry.
The Revolutionary Communist Party, and myself and a host of others, we went to jail to make sure that Michael Bloomberg, who was in the mayor, right? He already sent 4 million people to jail as a result of stop and frisk. 3% committed crimes, not just disproportionately black and brown, almost 75-80%. You see, I mean, that's a tilt. Now, the irony is, of course, that includes black and brown policemen, too.
There's quite a lot of stuff going on in there.
Because they get socialized in the police department to look at black people in a certain way. White supremacy is inside black people. It's inside white people. It's inside brown.
So you read the new...
Police are following a pattern, and blacks commit disproportionately more crime.
But not that disproportionate.
Not certain kinds.
See, in that right there, once again, this is the lesson people need to learn. You need to attack that BS type of mindset. Oh, black people commit more of the crime, so we need to stop and frisk them. We need to, invade their constitutional rights because they're gonna kill somebody. They're gonna rob somebody. Really? Hey. Don't worry, I got some facts. Hold on.
Certain kinds of crime, and not to that level.
50% of violent crime in America.
Okay, so look, I don't have too much of a problem with profiling or with stop and search because stop and frisk, as you call it over here, because I'm quite strong on law and order when it works.
No,
but there's a lot.
Okay, that's the point that I like. Let's hear that one part again.
Over here because I'm quite strong on law and order when it works.
No, but you.
He's for law and order when it works, and we base what statistics, data, research off of based on if it works or not. That's what you look at to see if something worked or not, right? Once again, according to NYPD data from peaks year like 2011, 87 of those stopped were black and Latino. With stop and frisk, that's what we're talking about. 87% of those stopped were black and Latino. What did old boy say? Most of them were white folk? Okay, whatever. Most of them were found to be doing nothing wrong. Over 90% were not arrested or ticketed. So you're telling me you want police to trample over my constitutional rights, and 90% of the times it led to no arrest or no tickets? What happened to the, if it works, then I'm all for it? Just based off of that I just read should let you know it did not work. Sorry with all the coughing. Stops were disproportionately in communities of color when even when crime rates didn't justify the difference. Let me read that again. Maybe just me stopping and coughing. You didn't understand that. Stops were disproportionately in communities of color, even when crime rates didn't justify the difference. oh man, but we need you this pull. We just need to stop the black guys, stop the black and brown people, because I feel deep down in my heart they're bad people. So we need to put more police officers into their communities to keep me safe, please. Court rulings. In 2013, a federal judge ruled that the practice was unconstitutional, a form of racial profiling, and violated the 4th and 14th Amendment for unreasonable searches and equal protection. So, Mr. Milo, whatever your name is, can we agree that it did not work? So therefore, it should not be a thing. It should not be continued in any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying.
But there's a lot else going on in what you said, right?
You got black
but
partners, you got black
of course.
companions.
Black husband.
Now, when they,
I was
I know,
gonna say-
but when your precious one, when he gets pulled over and they mistreat him, and he says what? He says, "Loved one, it was racist to me." What do you say? What do you say?
Does he say that?
I mean, we're just talking hypothetically.
He's been driving a gold Tesla through, Miami, and the Hispanic cops down there do not like black people very much. Like a lot of Hispanics do not like black people very much.
See, that's racism too, my brother.
No, you think.
Like it.
Look,
That's racism.
I don't run into a lot of white people who use the N-word or who have
Not
particularly.
in that form. That's true. That's true.
But I lived in South Florida for 2.5 years, and my goodness, the attitudes among the Hispanics pouring over the border to say nothing of the economic impacts on black America. But
My God, once again, challenge that BS. Oh, I mean, let's not talk about the racist white people, because little old me, I didn't hear people say the N-word, even though he's tied to plenty of deep far right groups. But no, they don't use the N-word. But hey, the Mexicans, the undocumented Mexicans, those are the racist ones. Those you have to be in fear of, black folks, not white people. Oh, the Mexicans. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here with that BS, bro.
attitudinal impacts on black America. And this is why I think people sometimes say that the Republicans are stupid and the Democrats are evil. Because Republicans may be ignorant and behind the times and out of date. Like your definition of racism, you don't know. It doesn't mean bad people doing mean things.
What does it mean?
Well, so you read Robin DiAngelo's book, right? The White Fragility, which is a silly, frivolous, frothy thing.
I've never read it, but I've heard about it.
It's a frothy
thing,
but it explains that racism.
Beacon Press, my beloved press, we go right ahead.
Right. So it says that racism is not what you think it is. It's not mean people who have prejudice against blacks or some other group, exercising that prejudice by denying them opportunities or calling them names. No, that's just discrimination. Racism is a structure of oppression which runs like a red thread through the institutions of society, pops up as a character in history.
Give me an example of it popping up.
Well, so the golden example is always law enforcement, right? Which disproportionately, but
you got job discrimination, residential discrimination. That's real.
All right, so here I am.
That's real.
Yes,
I work at
that
a company.
can be real.
That can be very real.
I saw this application. Cornel West, an academic, what a hell of a career. Oh, Princeton, okay. I think we're going to have, I had not seen you yet.
I didn't see the photo yet.
Yeah.
You see,
I think it's a little bit more deeper than that. It's more like, hey, I have a white applicant and a black applicant. The black applicant has more qualities or certifications that meet the job's requirements than the white applicant, but I'm still going to choose the white applicant because of whatever. That's a form of hiring employee racism there.
the problem is
That's beautiful acting.
yeah,
Actually.
yeah. Now you,
Beautiful acting.
Or even like Milo goes, you got to meet my friend Cornel. Oh, I can't wait. He's here. Oh.
but you see, here's the thing, right? What you're saying is, if I understand you correctly, forgive me for summarizing, you're saying, I just don't believe that everyday people are that prejudiced on an everyday basis.
Including employers.
Republicans, I would agree with you. It's the Democrats that have the problem. You read this Robin DiAngelo book, and she's talking about how she's uncomfortable around black people. She's got these negative suppositions, and she puts it down to being socialized into white supremacy. It ain't. It's her. She has a problem, and she's constructed this whole. This is why Democrats are always banging on about feminism and about rape culture and all the rest of it, because they think that all men are like Clinton, Weiner, and Weinstein, and we're not. They think that all men are like their men.
But I think.
Okay, once again, that is number one flat out stupidity right there. I don't even know who the hell he's talking about. This lady who wrote this book, that person doesn't represent all Democratic voters. And once again, I am a progressive. Who the hell is this? I know some liberals that don't even follow through with whatever the hell you're saying. And once again, Malcolm X did say, watch the white liberals. So I understand what that could bring. But for him to take this one person and lay out an entire party based off that one person's lived experience is stupid. Once again, this is a perfect moment for Cornel West to slap this dude and say, hey, shut up with that. That's stupid. Come on, really? That's what you bring to the table? That's your argument? Hey, no, done. Hey, do better, or we're done with this conversation. That is stupid right there. Come on.
Much of this racism that comes, actually, because the reason I'm saying this is what a lot of the statistics suggest, he's going to be right about this, is that employers and people in general do seem to net discriminate against blacks. And so it kind of gives the lie to what you're suggesting, which is...
You're talking about when they're named LaQuisha.
I'm saying
when they're named Michelle
Well, I'm saying
Obama,
they may well discriminate against blacks, but it's probably Democrats doing it.
Empirical studies.
There you go. It's the Democrats, right? And once again, I understand black folks and brown folks should keep an eye on the white liberals. I get it. But you telling me I shouldn't be worried about white Republicans? Even hell, even black and brown Republicans. You telling me not to focus? Hey, that's disingenuous right there. That is that BS right there.
Is that you can send in white persons for a job or housing, and they find a place, and you send a black person in, and they say there's none available whatsoever.
That's a valid example.
That's outright.
Although he is right that this study says nothing about the names, and I do think that people are making not necessarily racial, or at least not solely racial judgments when they see a name like LaKeisha or whatever.
It's a beautiful name.
Well, yes, but they may be making economic judgments about that person. They may be making social judgments about that person that are connected to race, but are not necessarily completely completely about race. And the studies you're talking about, I've read them. They don't acknowledge and they don't mention whether names were blacked out. So it.
Right.
Excuse the expression, but forgive the expression. But they don't say what whether the names were withheld, and all they say is that the people were not told. Right. So this is the big open question.
Interesting though, when we discuss racism, we're always thinking about white people. Like if I ask you if America's racist, you don't think do Mexicans racist in South Central dislike blacks?
The most racist.
The
most racist group in America.
White people.
No.
But
The most racist.
Talking about how Latinos.
The most racist group in the country are.
Our brain doesn't go there immediately.
But it should go across the board. All human beings have the proclivity toward racism.
Should it not go solely where the evidence leads?
And the evidence is very important. No, it's not natural, but it has been chronic because the culture itself reinforces it.
But you believe something.
You have to unlearn that.
Well, this is coming from a left-wing academic tradition that says that these things are culturally determined, they're socialized, that are
Well, it's
basically
not just
all
left
part of
wing.
the.
I think it's more than just left wing. I think there's some truth.
Well, when you
but I want to hear your.
it was
I want to hear your.
it was my mistake to say left-wing academia when I meant academia. It's just like, it's like,
I wish academia were left wing. Most of it's liberal. Most of it's liberal.
It's like American Vogue, which here we just call Vogue. You know, like
no. Chomsky is left wing, and that's not the mainstream.
well, in your but you come from a particular. You're a real leftist. You know?
That's right.
And real leftists, I get on great. Oh, well, thank
man.
you very much. You see, real leftists, they love to share. What's not to love? Real
Socialism works after.
Brilliant. No,
That's part of my Christian sensibility too, though. Brother.
no,
Go
I
right
mean
ahead.
real old school leftists.
So once again, I would not feel comfortable with someone like this guy here, Milo, whatever the his name is, okay, befriending me. That's not going to happen. I am not going to water down. I am not going to hide. I'm not going to pretend of my standards and my morality and what I believe in and what I stand behind. And what I stand behind and all that I just listed is going to keep us from being friends. That's simple. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be this type of dude on YouTube, but in my personal life, I hang around just with hateful, racist people. No, I'm like this 24/7, bro. That's what I'm saying. So if someone like this is like, hey, you know, we friends, we buddies, these type of left people are my friend. Nah, something just ain't right there. You know, that's like what did Ludacris say? They got it all backwards, like women in tuxedos. This is it right here. He got it all backwards. If you think people like Cornel West are the real leftists and those is the people he can get along with, I'm sorry. Either he's lying or Cornel West is not a leftist. Simple as that. So
I always get on with fine. It's the social justice warrior, you know, neoliberal, whatever that we probably have in common as a foe sometimes. You're perhaps going to say, or I've heard you at least on previous occasions suggest, that this 100% socialization model is very flawed in a number of ways, not least of which is we know people self-sort into in-groups along racial lines if left to their own devices, and it has very little to do with, you know, they're not inculcated into prejudice. We just know that human animals are like that. Boys will sit with boys and girls will sit with girls. You know, different racial groups sit together, and then at higher levels of abstraction, rich people will self-sort again. You know, whatever.
In the ancient world, they didn't even have a concept of race.
Absolutely,
So in the medieval period, they didn't have a concept
absolutely,
of race. So they wouldn't.
But when
isolate
race activists are ramming it down people's throats 24/7, it's very difficult to avoid the concept, and therefore you are.
race activists ram it down people's throats. What do you think? This is almost like what came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first, racism or race activists? If there was no racism, there would be no race activist. Do you see what I'm saying? Dude, bro, hey, I'm just a regular YouTuber. I do some studies, 2-3 hours a day on whatever the case is. I'm just a regular guy. And even I understand that was the dumbest shit I done probably heard in a month. Okay, I'm being honest. Within a month, even with Trump talking about whatever, that's the dumbest thing I done heard. Oh, the race activists is ramming things down people's throats. Well, if there was no racism, they would be out of a job. So maybe the racist people need to stop being racist. All right. Hey guys, guess what? I'm done. Hey, if you guys want to watch the rest of this, this is where you can find it right there. Boom, bam, bam. Once again, if you want to give them a view, go for it. You can try to enjoy this. But this right here, I'm sorry. You cannot befriend people like that. You can't try to have a cordial conversation, discussion about politics and race and education, because their bottom line is to support their hateful rhetoric, their hateful ideologies, their hateful white supremacist beliefs. That's what they're going to defend. That's it. Easy. Simple as that. You feel me? But once again, guys, hey, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, if you agree with me or if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments down below or hit that Blue Sky link in the description down below so me and you, can have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have that conversation.
I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy.